Hello everyone, it is Erin Floto here with another 10 types video. This video was inspired by Little Coffee Fox. I saw on one of their blog posts that they had something called an undo list. And so I wanted to use my little noggin here to figure out bullet journal spreads that help you undo bad habits. So let's go ahead and get into it. I did use just like random bad habits that I just Googled a bunch. Some of these I actually do myself, some of them I don't. So I just put some random habits on here. So the first one is called an undo mind map. And I don't really like how I did this, but everyone knows really what a mind map looks like. You have kind of this center issue and then things spoking off from there. So in this case, I did two different types of mind maps where it's like, okay, here is something that I do in my life. And then here are some things that I would like to undo, like habits that I've created that are bad and why they are bad. The first example is not emptying the dishwasher right away. That leads to plates stacking in the sink. Or I don't charge the Roomba, and that leads to vacuuming spaces less often. The second type of mind map I did is based on the actual bad habit itself. So, for example, if you have the bad habit of biting nails, you could do that bad habit and like triggers of why that bad habit occurs, or cheat days and why you end up doing cheat days. So if I don't prep good meals throughout the week, then sometimes I could eat something not in line with the type of diet that I am doing. So that is the idea of the mind map. There's kind of two different directions that you can go there. The next one is a substitution list. So for this substitution, it goes from I do this and when I could do this. So for example, biting my fingernails. Instead of biting my fingernails, I could get my nails done. That would significantly reduce me biting my nails, especially if you do something like acrylic nails, dip nails, things like that. Or use a fidget spinner / tool. So if you just have antsy fingers, or you are anxious over something, using a fidget spinner instead of biting on your fingernails. So that is the simple list from I do this when I could do this. Number 3 is bad habit triggers. So each of these bubbles, like mind clouds, is a habit, and then you have some surrounding triggers for that habit. So the example that I gave here was not sleeping enough. And the triggers that lead to that is watching a late night movie, or you are on TikTok and you are doom scrolling for hours because you don't realize what time is when you're on TikTok. Or intrusive thoughts keep me awake. So what are the triggers that lead to that bad habit, and trying to address those triggers? Number 4 is a support network. So what I thought would be a good idea is for the type of bad habit that you are doing, who is a really good support system for you. There are many people that are good at many different things in their lives, or maybe it's something that you are comfortable sharing with the outside world, and some things that you're not really comfortable sharing with the outside world. So instead of like having your partner, your friends, whatever, you would rather talk to a therapist about that, because you're not comfortable being out in the open about that particular bad habit. So one of the examples that I gave is not exercising, and one of the support networks for me would be my boyfriend, because he's a personal trainer and a wonderful motivator. He's also an accountability buddy because we work out together. Same thing for Instagram stories. If I post every day, that means I'm creating an accountability network. And if I ask a bunch of my followers who are so sweet and check in on me all the time, hey, if you ever see me fall off, like, check in with me because something might be wrong, they would totally do that. And then I also put one of my friends who I share Apple Watch data with, for an accountability buddy, I could always text him and say, hey, if you ever not see me working out like for like a week straight, something's probably wrong. So can you check in with me? So creating a nice support system for that. I think that with the bad habits you have, a lot of your support systems might be the same. But again, like I said, you might find that some people have a particular set of skills that are very helpful for particular bad habits. So there is the bad habit, the who, and the why are they a good support for you for that habit. Number 5 is environment changes. So these are things that you can change to your physical environment or your triggers that will help you to getting rid of that bad habit. So for example, I have not exercising here. So one of the changes that you can make is working out at the same time each day. A lot of people have bad habits because they haven't established a routine, and establishing a routine will really help you get out of that bad habit. Putting on shoes to go to the gym. This is like a big psychological study, is if you put your shoes on, you are, a bunch more likely, I don't want to give like an actual percentage figure, but you are often more likely to end up at the gym if you put your shoes on at the beginning of the day or go for a run or something to that effect. Setting an alarm on your phone. Again, if you want to work out at the same time, start establishing a routine. You can put an alarm on to trigger you to do a workout. The next one is blocking off time in your calendar. For me, if I wanted to work during my lunch break, for example, I could always block off time in my calendar. There's an alarm that goes with my calendar to say, hey, 15 minutes until you need to go to the gym or something to that effect. So you could always block off time in your calendar, and that changes your environment. Finding a gym you love. So if you are an anxious person, that's my next one. Find a gym that is fairly empty. So if you are anxious and you don't like to be around a lot of people, find a gym and or a time to work out that it's fairly empty, so that way you don't have anxiety. Because if you don't like working out and you also have anxiety about working out, the two don't mesh very well together. So trying to alleviate some of that anxiety can assist you in working out. So those are a couple examples here. I have another one for alcoholism, like not having alcohol in your home. You are changing your physical environment. You are having less triggers in your home. Texting a sponsor during your triggering event. You are removing yourself from the triggering event and, changing how you are addressing your triggers, things to that effect. The next one is a reward list. So the one that I gave here is a bad habit is drinking soda. So for me, I put in a couple different rewards here. Reward number 1 is after 1 month of being soda sober, I get to pick the date night, for example. Or 2 months after being soda sober, you can go on a boba tea date. So these are things that are not going to, the rewards don't impact the bad habit, meaning you are not doing the bad habit as a reward. So my reward would never be drinking soda or replacing one bad habit for another. It's more of an incentive-based thing, but something that isn't going to lead you to drinking more soda, right? Like, same thing with not exercising, or eating healthy or something like that. My bad habit is that I eat terribly. So my reward is not going to be I'm eating a cupcake, right? So you're trying to do rewards that are also in line with progressing in your removal of a bad habit. Number 7 is streaks and milestones. So I put in I am soda sober, and I have a list, and these are, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, etc. The other option you can do instead of doing it surrounding the bad habit, because there are studies that suggest that you shouldn't do a habit tracker, for example, of the days that you did not drink soda. You should find your replacement and then track that. So instead of having soda, I'm having water, and I want to drink 8 cups of water a day. So I am tracking in my little habit tracker, drinking 8 cups of water a day. Because if you are tracking not drinking soda, you're actively thinking about the fact that you are not drinking soda versus a goal that you're setting to do a replacement. So I do like this to track your milestones, but if you are to do like a day-to-day habit tracker, I would definitely suggest doing the substitution of the bad habit. And then you can also, there's a ton of apps on your phone that you can like just input the date of when you went soda sober, and then it will track that amount of time for you. And I do think that like tracking the milestones and creating a reward system for those milestones can be really helpful. Number 8 is routines. So this is the habit loop. So you have the triggering event, the routine for that habit, and then rewarding yourself for doing that routine. So for example, waking up in the morning can be a triggering event. Triggering events are usually time-based, location-based, etc. And then this is saying starting the morning routine. So you're setting a routine, and then I've color-coded with the calligraphs. So for the pink ones, those are things that are related to a bad habit or related to an improvement in that habit. And the gray is just a natural part of your morning routine. And you are trying to include the habits into your morning routine. So the one that I gave here is, for example, taking your prescription first thing in the morning. For me, I also feed my animals and let my dogs in and out to go to the bathroom. If I'm trying to be soda sober or not drink coffee, for example, maybe I am replacing that with drinking a full cup of water. For me, stretching is really important, and I do already stretch in the morning. But if I am trying to exercise more, maybe I am putting my shoes on and going for a run, and I include all of that in my morning routine. That way, when you create your routine, all of those habits are part of your routine. And you'll often see that in the planner community, that people put AM routine and PM routine, and they put a bunch of their habits within that routine. One option that you can do here, and I saw the Joshi Corinne do this, is putting tape over these, the dots, and then you can clean it off at the end of every day. So you go through and you check mark it each day, and then you clean off the tape, and then you can write over it again. The other option you can do is you do Monday through Sunday, and then you do 7 dots, and then you can mark off each date as well. That way you're not writing the routine over and over again when you're first trying to establish it. Number 9 is the It Happens self-care list. So this is based on my self-care bingo. And one of the things that I want to acknowledge is that you're never going to be perfect, that whatever bad habit you have became a bad habit for a reason. Maybe you have a lot of things that trigger you for that bad habit, whatever. But it's more of a journey, right, than of linear, instead of linear progress. So you're going to have ebbs and flows when it comes to getting rid of some of your bad habits. So, for example, and I would do the same thing that I do with this reward. None of these self-care items are going to hinder my bad habit. So if my bad habit is eating sweets, I would never add something on here that's eating candy, for example, or having a cupcake. Instead, I'll do other types of self-care activities that, for me personally, really helps myself, and it gives me a little bit of grace when it comes to, yeah. So this self-care list is meant to give you a little bit of grace. So I also included a little quote down here saying, we all have setbacks. The important thing is to rise up again and continue to move forward. Number 10 is a journal prompts for success list. So you have the bad habit highlighted here. You have some background information on how often you do it, how long have you been doing it, is it addictive, when does it happen, and who are you with when that does happen, and what triggers the bad habit. And then you have kind of moving towards a solution, right? What does my bad habit do to alleviate the feeling? So you're trying to identify why you were feeling that way and how it is helping that feeling. And then what are things that I can do to replace that habit that is better for me? For example, soda. If I really like the carbonation of the soda and the feeling of the carbonation, then maybe I just switch to seltzer water that doesn't have carbs, it doesn't have those addictive types of chemicals in them. I just switched to seltzer water. So those are some things that I can do to replace it, or flavored water, for example. And then who is helping me? Who is your support network? For the example of soda, you know, the partner that you live with or your family members, because not having soda in the house would be really helpful for you. So them respecting the boundary that you're setting would be helpful in your support system. And then how am I tracking that progress? It's kind of the same example that I gave for tracking the alternative. So if I'm trying not to drink soda, then I'm going to have a tracker for drinking water, for example. So those are the 10 types of bullet journal spreads that may help you undo bad habits. So we have the mind map, the substitution list, the bad habit triggers. So this is more of the identification of your bad habits. We have a support network. We have environment changes. We have a reward list. We have tracking your streaks and milestones, establishing routines, giving yourself a little bit of grace if you do, you know, revert back to that bad habit, and 10 journaling prompts to help you identify a bigger meaning to why this bad habit develops in the first place. So thank you so much. I hope you like this video, and I really appreciate if you could leave any more 10 tips. I really would appreciate if you can leave any more ideas for your 10 types videos down below. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.